Hi, my name is TK Sims, founder of A Sisters Reach Incorporated, a nonprofit organization based in Atlanta that provides tools and resources to help women reach their full potential through womanhood, works, and wealth. I am also your host for Sister Talks with TK. Ladies, if we can't do anything else, we love to talk. Maybe that's why the serpent went to Eve first instead of Adam, because he knew we would talk to him. Anywho, our Sister Talks will include topics on marriage, family, sisterhood, sex, dating, money, global issues, and so much more. Are you ready for some Sister Talks with TK? Welcome to Sister Talks with TK Sims. I am super excited about our Sister Talk tonight because not only is this my first official episode, but I get to chat with two amazing women from China and Abu Dhabi about something that we are all affected by. It doesn't matter where you live, your financial status, your race, your age, or your gender. COVID-19 has affected all of our lives indefinitely. As of May 2nd, the U.S. has 1.15 million people that has contracted the coronavirus, 67,099 people that died out of this number, and 170,181 that has recovered. I am a resident of Georgia, and our governor, Brian Kemp, just recently opened a host of businesses, including gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, tattoo parlors, hair salons, and barbershops. Was this the right move? Do you think Georgia was ready to reopen? Think about these questions as we go to a sponsored message. Babe, come here.
What? What's up?
Remember I was telling you that I wanted to start a podcast but just didn't know where to start?
Yeah.
Well, I found this app that has creation tools which allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
What's the name of the app?
Have you heard of Anchor?
No.
Well, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And guess what else?
What?
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum licensure. Isn't that cool?
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And here's the kicker. It's free.
I like free.
I know.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Thanks, Zoe.
You're welcome, Mommy. Is that better?
Welcome back to our episode, Sister Talks Life During COVID-19. Next, we are going to listen to a pre-recorded conversation that I had last night with my sisters, Victoria and Brandy. After you hear the precautions that are being taken in China and the UAE, ask yourselves, is Georgia or the U.S., for that matter, are doing everything that they need to do for the well-being of their citizens? And are we the people taking this pandemic seriously, or are we just wearing non-effective masks as a new fashion statement?
I am Victoria. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia area, but I currently reside in Abu Dhabi.
Okay. Hey, Victoria.
Hello.
I am Brandy. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, but right now I am in China.
Okay, so let's talk about China a little bit. So I did some research, and as of today, China has 82,874 confirmed cases, only 4,633 deaths compared to the United States, who has 65,435 deaths and 77,642 recovered. Tell me what you guys are doing over there in China.
What aren't they doing over here in China? It has been extreme. We've been doing this since first week of February. And initially what they did was they gave out passes and they restricted our movement. So they shut everything down. businesses, highways, everything. And they told us, okay, you can only go to the store twice a week. And they gave us passes and put a security guard at the gate of every community and at the end of every street of the places that don't have gates and communities. And they said, okay, we're going to track you. You can only go out twice a week. And that's how it started. Then it got, and when you come back in, they took your temperature. They took your temperature as you entered the stores or anything like that. Then when things started to get worse, what they started to do was have people that weren't accounted for. They started to they started to give mandatory quarantines. So in our mandatory quarantine, what they did was they sealed our door. And they gave us a community liaison that was to come get our trash, get our groceries, or anything we needed. But they sealed our door for 14 days.
Wow. So how was that experience?
Honestly, it wasn't too bad because the person that they gave us to help meet our needs, she was amazing. I mean, the smallest thing, if I needed some milk, she was running to get milk. And I wasn't alone. It was my husband and myself. Okay. So I imagine that I'd have gone crazy if I was in here alone with my door sealed.
Absolutely.
But no, so the woman, her name was Jaleesa, and she was coming to the door to take things in and out and to bring things. And so that was my little interaction outside of my husband for the 14 days. Towards the end, I would say the last 2 days, I really, really wanted to go outside. I'm a nature person. I like to walk, take quiet walks. So that got a little difficult, and going out on the patio wasn't enough.
Wow, absolutely. And I remember you saying something about a health code system.
Yes, so after our 14-day quarantine, we had to subscribe to a health code. And it's on our phone, and what we had to do was we signed up for the health code, and in order to go into any store or to go to work even after the quarantine, we have to show our green health code. If your health code is red or yellow, then you won't be allowed to enter these places.
Okay. Well, I was reading this article about China, and it stated that China has rolled out perhaps the most ambitious, aggressive disease containment effort in history. Do you guys agree?
Definitely. I mean, well, during part of this time, I flew to Thailand and flew back in. So as I left, I had to fill out a form about where I was going, when I was going to be back, and it took the flight number and everything, all the details. Then on the way back, I had to do the same thing, and there was a line to greet me when I came back in. There was somebody that was in charge. We were in a line. They took the same details, and they, depending on where you were, you were tested there and in line, and then they took us on buses and took us on buses or other transportation to escort you to your home to make sure you did your quarantine when you got back. So Wow. They really keep track of everyone and everything. I had never seen anything like it.
So do you think that this was a positive impact as far as the fight against COVID-19? Because look at your numbers. I mean, the statistics, numbers are everything, right? So do you think that this was the right way to go about defeating this virus?
I think it needed to happen because the nature of people are to want to be rebellious and want to do whatever they want to do. That's what's going on now in the USA.
Right.
Why do I have to stay in? Why? I don't know anybody that has the disease. Is it serious? I don't know anyone that has died. So they're not believing what's going on. So in order to get people to do what they need to do, I think extreme measures are necessary. I didn't like that my freedoms were being taken away, but I understood that it was for the safety of the people.
Absolutely. So Victoria, tell us a little bit about the lifestyle change in the UAE.
Well, first of all, the UAE, the locals are very compassionate, loving. They love to, we do the kisses on the cheeks and all the hugging and all that stuff. So all of that, when the first local got the disease, all of that came to a halt. So within a day of getting 3 cases on one of the islands, actually Yas Island, which is a part of Abu Dhabi, they shut that island down. They quarantined it was 3 people on the island that were sick, and they quarantined them to a hotel and brought in medical people from. What the UAE does is they don't use their medical team from the local hospitals and all. They use their scientists and all to work with coronavirus.
Okay.
And so that's a little, I don't know if they're doing that in China, but that's what they started doing here. And so I think we started in March, we started having curfews. And the curfew in Abu Dhabi, which is the largest emirate in the UAE, we had a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And during that time, they're using drones to patrol the whole country, the whole emirate of Abu Dhabi. They're using street cleaners. We have, they're cleaning the streets and buildings almost every night from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day, because they were saying, it's airborne. So I don't know what chemical they're using, but they do that every night. And so in Dubai, which is the most popular emirate, they had not only the curfew, they had a 24-hour curfew, because it's more people there.
Okay.
And so with that curfew, you had to have a permit to go outside your home. If you didn't have the permit, you could be arrested or face heavy fees or fines, like 10,000 dirhams and up, and you have to pay that before you're released. Let me think what else. We're mandated to wear masks anytime we're
Before you
outside
leave
our
the
home.
fines part, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you brought up a point that I did want to talk about as far as the fines, because I was reading that the UAE has a list of fines as a preventive precautionary measure taken to curb the spread of the COVID-19 and ensure the safety and well-being of residents and visitors. Violators of these precautions will face a fine ranging from 500 dirhams to 50,000 dirhams. And then I kind of, figured out the math for US dollars, and that's about $135 to 13,500 in the US dollars. Do you believe that these fines are making a positive impact on the UAE?
Yes, absolutely, because generally some of the locals, they have so much wealth, and so they're used to just paying their way out of things or whatever, some of them, or sweet talking their way out of things. But a friend of mine who was local was pulled over. His excuse was, I'm going to pick my wife up. He didn't have a mask. He wasn't wearing gloves, or he didn't have gloves on him. And so he had to pay the fine immediately or go to jail.
Wow.
And, a lot of Americans and Europeans complained, and, the clapback was, you can complain or you can pay the fine, it's your choice. So, because they don't want to be isolated or don't want to have their rights restricted. And the thing is, this is not your country. And the goal is to get everyone out the house sooner.
Do you think this is something that we should implement in the United States?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think just looking at some friends and church members and all, I see they're really not taking it seriously. And I think a lot of it has to do with politics and the government, the stuff they're putting on the news. And, it's 1 minute, it's not that big of a deal. And then when you have your leaders being careless about wearing masks and all that, it's it just puts everybody in a bad situation. So I do think it's something that would probably stop some people from going out.
Absolutely, because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandy.
That's what I was just saying. I would agree. Something needs to happen. And if you hit people in the pockets, then that's going to make them stay in and follow the rules. Right now, I mean, like I said, the nature of a person is to be rebellious. So people are doing everything that they can. And I'm seeing posts that you're trampling on my rights and I can get sick if I want to get sick. And it's not about you. It's hurting and killing other people.
Other people, right. And I was kind of looking at, some of the fines, like why you would get fined in the UAE. And basically, if we did this in the United States, if we implemented these fines in the U.S., we will get fined $13,500 for non-compliance with home quarantine instructions and refusing to take the test again if ordered to. People will be charged $500 for leaving their homes during non-curfew hours, except for performing vital jobs or buying necessities. That'll keep me home.
Yeah, and you have to have a note from your job.
Wow.
An official seal stating you are an essential personnel.
So how do they monitor? Okay, so yes, so that is one of the ways that they monitor. You have to have some form of letter, because we get the letters as well. I'm considered an essential worker, so I have one of those letters as well. But what are the police doing, in China or the UAE to be able to truly monitor? Because the police are not stopping me. If I want to, I can come and go as I please, and no one would ever know.
Well, there's a big difference here. In our country, there are cameras everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere. If you commit a crime here, there is no denying it. You're caught.
Right.
Because it gets facial recognition. It can see every detail. When you enter into this country, your ID is put into a computer. And so you could be driving in your car and one of the cameras can profile and see your bone structure and everything, and they know it's you. And so with that being said, at all of our buildings, we have government security. We have officers everywhere who monitor things, and we have a different task force to take care of things, but your ID, and they can look you up on the computer instantly.
Wow.
Everyone in the country is accounted for.
Okay.
We have a similar system here.
Okay.
In China. And what they also did was most people live in gated communities, whether it's a house or a townhouse, condo, apartment, it's a gated community. So there are government security people outside of every gated community in our area. So they check your pass as you go in and out. There is no getting by without it. You have to show it. You're going to come to a point where it has to be seen.
Okay. Wow. So tell me about, I know, in some of our notes and us talking back and forth, the discrimination of foreigners. Is that more of you coming from the United States, living there in China or in Dubai?
Well, in the UAE, there's not a discrimination.
Okay.
Like, I feel so much safer and more at peace here than I would even in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
There has been a bit of that in China, which is basically a result of after China got it under control, then there were a lot of people flocking back to China from, wherever they were laying over waiting for the disease to get under control. So as people flocked back, then their numbers started to go up again. What they don't pay attention to is that most of those were actually Chinese people, but again, they were leery of the foreigners coming back in and bringing it with them.
Wow. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to add anything to that? So as far as personally, you don't feel discriminated?
No.
Okay.
No. The thing that our sheikh did was when our cases increased, he sent out a letter to all expats and the local community and said, we're here. It was even a time where if I were an expat stuck in the U.S. And I wanted to get back to the UAE, they would have sent a plane to come and get me.
Okay.
Which is total opposite of the U.S. government, our embassy. You're on your own getting out of here if you need to get out.
Right.
And so the UAE, they told us, don't worry about food. Our stores are fully stocked. Women who are pregnant don't have to leave. If they're in healthcare, they do not work in high-risk areas. What else?
So you're not fighting for tissue and water like we are?
No, we have more than we need. And we have delivery service. We have restaurants open, but they're not serving people. Nobody can go inside. So it's mainly like the chef.
Right.
And that's all. And no toilet paper fights. We've had, everything was shut down except essential needs, like our markets and stuff like that are closed. But our main grocery store, that's what we call it, grocery store, is open, and you go in and you get what you need and you come out. But when we go to our stores, no children are allowed in the stores. Only one adult per household is allowed, and we have little boxes that we stand in. And so, plenty of toilet paper, cleaning supplies, whatever we need. The government said you're going to have all your needs taken care of.
Awesome. Absolutely. That's great when you have a government that is for the people. That truly makes a difference. I know I'm actually a resident here in Georgia, and our governor just opened up some businesses, but it was businesses such as, hair salons and barbershops and tattoo parlors. Nothing that really seemed essential, I'm walking around with a wig. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to the hair salon. I'm going to figure it out right here at home, and I just feel like he was more focused on the monetary part of it versus the care and the well-being of the people, and I'm sure he didn't make the decision on his own. I'm sure it was a collective, decision made, but I just feel like, we need a government that is for the people. So
that's terrifying. That's our salons and our barbershops and nail places. Those are very social places, and you have to get very close to each other. There's no social distancing in a place like that. So that to me is negligent.
Absolutely. Well, we have 10 minutes, and I definitely want to get your main message. So what is the message that you want to convey to us in the United States?
Well, I want to encourage people to stay in. Try and get your numbers to decrease because it's wearing on your healthcare providers, your doctors, your nurses, everyone. They're suffering as a result to others being negligent, and they're still trying to take care of themselves, their families, and their daily needs. And, just look out for each other. If there are older people in your community, see how you can help. If they need groceries or anything, you don't have to go inside their homes. Assist them, put them at the door or whatever, and, look for ways to prevent the virus within your own community.
You have anything to add to that, Miss Brandy?
I would say even the loss of one life is too much.
Right.
So just being vigilant about staying inside and staying away from other people. If you must go outside, then go outside to be on your own. There are so many ways. You can order groceries online and have them delivered to your doorstep without contact. There are so many ways that we can do our essential activities without having contact, and there's lots of agencies that I've seen that are helping people. So do your research. If you need help with something, find someone to be able to help you get it without going outside and putting others at risk. And if you do have to go outside, wear your mask. That's another thing that I've been seeing. Like, people didn't understand, well, I'm not sick. Why do I need to wear a mask? And just knowing how that works, that, you know, if you are sick and you wear a mask and then the other person wears a mask, then it's less likely that you'll get the transmission of the illness. You know, just explaining that whole situation has, you know, been interesting to read on Facebook. But just be vigilant about being safe, and it's not just about you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's say something about the masks that I've noticed is a lot of masks, and I'm noticing people are selling them or whatever. They're making them out of material. Those aren't necessarily the safest precautions. You know, maybe if they're adding some type of filter or something within the material, but some people are just making fashion statements.
Right. That is a good point. That is definitely a good point. Everyone is selling masks right now. So it's like the new thing, and everyone's like wearing their favorite sports or, you know, whatever they're like, I guess, showing who they are, their personality through their mask now. So like you said, it is a fashion statement. It's not really helping the issue at hand, which is trying to prevent, you know, COVID-19 from spreading. Well, I just want to say I thank you guys gals, for, you know, having this sister talk with me this evening. So with Sister Talk, we have a no judgment zone. So just real quick, I want to know how you are feeling about all of this as far as your life. Like, how are you feeling spiritually, mentally, emotionally? What are you feeling at this moment?
Personally, I am so sorry for the people that are losing their lives and the people that are struggling financially. But I am thankful to God for this time that I had off.
Yes, Lord.
I needed to be out. I needed time to rest. I was stressed out mentally. And it was like God said, here, you need a moment. Here you go.
Amen. Amen.
So I'm thankful for that.
Yes, absolutely. Victoria?
Yes, I'll say this opportunity, my husband, my daughter, and I have had time. Like, we've had quite a bit of time this year because we're getting ready to move. So, you know, we've just been playing games and enjoying each other, cooking, something I'm not big on doing. So we've just really enjoyed having family time. We are, like, able to have family worship at any time we want to now. It doesn't always have to just be organized for a certain time period.
Right.
I'm okay here, but my mind is in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I have anxiety thinking about family members, church members, friends, because my husband has lost a couple of family members. And, you know, I've had friends and all who are sick. And it causes me to not sleep well, because I know there's better ways, and I understand, like, some people have financial situations. It's just I have to pray for our leaders in the U.S., and it's hard.
Thank you, Victoria and Brandy, for sharing your testimonies with us and giving us some insight on how you are doing life during COVID-19. My purpose of this episode is not to bash my country, my president, nor my state's governor, but what I will say is God gave us the spirit of power, of love, and most importantly, a sound mind. So although businesses are reopening, I will continue to do my own hair, my own nails, and I stopped getting tattoos at 18, so I'm good there. The point that I am making is use good judgment. Allow God to order your steps and give you discernment. I am fully aware that I am blessed to be considered an essential worker, and I'm given the opportunity to work from home if needed or inside my own office. But truth is, many do not have that privilege, and there are some people that agree with Governor Kemp because they need to go back to work to provide for their families. I can't argue with that. but I can pray for the protection of those who are forced to go back to work. I believe our God is a provider. I believe He is a healer, and no weapons formed against you shall prosper. I also want to encourage those who are blessed to be able to still work during this time to help others within your communities. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about building God's kingdom. So let's get out of that every man for self mentality. There is power in numbers, and together we can move mountains. Thank you for joining me this evening on Sister Talks with TK Sims. Go check out my organization's website, www.reach4sisters.org. That is reach4sisters.org. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Reach4Sisters. Meet me every other Saturday, same place, same time. My name is TK Sims, aka God's Girl, representing who I am, but most importantly, whose I am. Good night.